Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized, brought to you by Forged Irish Stout. Ross,
Are you intoxicated or something?
how you doing, bud? Are they new glasses?
Man, brand spanking new. Man, TUF, season 31, 5-0 to Michael Chandler, but a win for Team Ireland and Bragatona, a.k.a. the Diva.
The Diva.
Man,
The
like,
Diva. The Winnipeg Diva.
The Winnipeg Diva. This actually episode I found, obviously from an Irish point of view, very interesting. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was one of the best episodes we've seen, and I think it's the first time we got more of an in-depth look into a fighter's mindset and how they view fighting. I actually thought it was class. What do you think in terms of this episode? In terms of the others, where would you rank it?
Yeah, we're obviously going to get into the full episode, as we do every week. Episode 5, I think there's 12 altogether. So we'll be here again next week, so make sure to like and subscribe. And congratulate Ross on his new glasses.
Yeah,
but,
also, it was announced, this week, that the Ultimate Fighter finale will take place at UFC 292 in Boston. So the winner will be crowned at UFC 292. Breaking news. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I was going to hit unbelievable, but it wasn't that wasn't the right one. What did I make of the episode? Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, we've been doing the show and we were waiting for Brad Katona to fight and Lee Hammond to fight. So it's funny how it works out that Brad just fought there, and next week Lee Hammond is on. So I can't wait to talk about that episode as well. But yeah, like, Brad is actually a very, very quiet guy. Like, you can see how intelligent he is, the way he carries himself. Like, he just sort of keeps himself to himself. Like, obviously he's with Katie Saul, who moved over from Canada as well, who fights in Invicta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no, it was cool to see his perspective of Ireland, living in Dublin for the last 6 years. But yeah, he's a deep thinker, Ross.
He really, really is. I love the way you saw him with Team Chandler, and like, the thing is, he's a veteran not only of the sport but also of the show, and he knows how to win the show because he's won it already, and like, he knows himself that, like, going in doing those like hard round wrestling practices, like, you know, as he touched on the episode, like, how much better is wrestling really going to get in a week or 2 weeks? It's not really. So, like, him doing those hard wrestling sessions, maybe picking up an injury, is not the best practice. And it sort of played out in the fight as well, that, like, he fought a smart fight, as in he won the fight without taking the most amount of damage. You can tell that was quite tactical within the fight. But even when he was almost like getting on his coaches, like, he was almost getting on Michael Chandler's back and getting on Robert Troisel's back, being like, when are we going to watch the footage? Because, like, we need to find out what this guy's about, where his strengths and weaknesses are. I want to know if I need to make any small minor adjustments. Like, I want 2 weeks to be able to make the adjustment. I don't want 1 week. And I think Chandler was a bit like, oh, you know, we have 8 guys to look after. And Brad was like, basically, he doesn't care about the other 8 guys. He only cares about himself, which is the way you have to be. And I think it is one of those things where he who shouts the loudest gets the most attention. And on this occasion, he was shouting the loudest.
Well, why do you think Chandler came across quite passive in Brad's request to, like, watch footage or not go training something that he's never trained before?
Yeah, I think from Chandler, I think he's probably trying to spread his attention evenly across the team.
Yeah, but Brad was the one who was about to fight.
No, well, like, if you didn't interrupt me, let me finish. I might have got there, Basmo. But yeah,
Bullshit.
but yeah, this is Brad's turn. But maybe Chandler views him as a McGregor guy, as an SPG guy. So, like, he's not as all in on him. And again, like, even you see John Kavanagh give him a bit of a voice in the gym, you know what I mean? Just because you've won it before, don't take the eyes off the prize. You know what I mean? And look, you can tell that he really puts the attention in the details, Brad Katona. So those things are really important to him. And I feel like maybe Chandler doesn't trust him. And you can tell by the rest of the team that they're not that trustworthy of him. But again, as much as he's on Team Chandler, We've hatched this out before, and I think McGregor was the first person to say it when he coached against Uriah Faber. Like, it's not Team McGregor, it's not Team Chandler. Like, you're in this for yourself. You know what I mean? You're not gonna, you know, if you got knocked out in the first round and then like your guy wins the final, you're gonna be like, we won. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a team trophy, the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, no, yeah. Chandler mentioned that as well, but I mean, Chandler's the one who picked the vets, the bantamweight vets as well. So it is a tough situation. Would you say Brad's actually in the toughest situation? Excuse the pun, but would you say Brad's actually in the toughest situation out of everyone in the house?
Maybe the most awkward. I don't know if I could call it the toughest, because I think at the end of the day, he seems to be taking it a stride and he seems to be doing what suits him. So at the end of the day, like, they have to be that little bit selfish. I think one thing that's actually sort of mad that hasn't really been touched on is Hunter Azur is in the house as well. And they actually fought in the UFC, him and Brad, and Hunter Azur actually got the win, and it hasn't even been mentioned once. So I actually think that's interesting. So he's actually also fought someone on his team and he's lost them. So maybe that's something else that, like, Brad's not as happy showing maybe his vulnerabilities. And I think that's something that Chandler touched on, that he was like, oh, maybe he doesn't want to show his weaknesses because he sees the guys on his own team as competition. And he's every right to do that as well, because at the end of the day, as you can see, the vets are winning every fight. So does he really want to show his hand in training to some of these vets? Probably not. He seems like a really intelligent guy. And look, it's working out for him.
Yeah, that's you sort of hit the nail on the head there. Brad Katona did ask a question on the show: if he wins the Ultimate Fighter this season, is he the ultimate fighter, or is he the multiple fighter?
I like the multimate fighter. You know, multiple time Ultimate Fighter champion. That's something that, like, I think you look at records from time to time, and like, you look at something that will never be done again. And like, that has been like very high on the list of things that won't ever be done again. You look at maybe Demetrius Johnson's most amount of title defenses, or you look at Anderson Silva's undefeated streak, and you always thought like, oh, those things aren't doable. Those things aren't doable. But like, to win the Ultimate Fighter twice is extraordinarily hard, because you sort of have to get kicked out of the UFC and then get back into the UFC. So it's not something that I think will ever be done again if Brad Katona wins it. So that will cement him in MMA history.
They should have brought Diego Sanchez back this season.
Yeah. What's he doing? Bare knuckle boxing these days?
He actually fought Kevin Lee last on Eagle FC.
Eagle FC?
Yeah,
no?
Kevin Lee's actually back this weekend. Yeah, so it's what goes around comes around, Ross. Is there anything else? Like, obviously it's 5-0 now. Conor went on a mad one after, saying there should be 3 rounds.
Oh, you know what? I have to agree.
Rounds, yeah, but the thing is, if it goes 3 rounds, then it goes down on the records. The thing is, fighting into the Ultimate Fighter, you fight 2 rounds. Unless it's a round each, then you go into a final round. But the records, these wins and losses don't go on your actual professional record. As we saw before, when Brad beat Bryce Mitchell, and Bryce Mitchell then went into the UFC and everyone knew
14-0 or something.
Yeah, until he lost to Poirier.
Yeah, but like, I think they probably should go on your record, and they probably should have 3 rounds. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why we're like not putting wins and losses on the record. Like, they had a fight, one person won, one person lost. Like, I can understand maybe the idea of 2 rounds is to prevent injuries for the next round, but at the end of the day, like, as Conor said, like, these are unfinished fights. Like, there should be 3 5-minute rounds. These guys also, like, they should be given the opportunity to fight to the end. Like, not to fight 2/3 of the way through a fight and be like, oh, no, we actually think this or we think that. Especially when we saw in Brad's fight here, like, it was quite back and forth. Like, I don't disagree with the decisions at all. I had Brad win the first 2 rounds. But it's not like your man was getting absolutely pummeled. You know, so I do think I'd rather see the 3 rounds. I think it's fairer on the competitors to have 3 rounds.
Yeah, because you sort of go the whole way to Vegas, unless you live near there, and then like you're fighting for this one opportunity, and it's not even a fight that goes in your record. So you might feel like there's unfinished business. But look, if it's 2 rounds, just go hell for leather. Ross, it's obviously 5-0 now. Each team has 8 fighters. Like, Lee Hammond's on next week, but
but don't forget, Aaron McKenzie won the row off.
Aaron McKenzie I was like, he went up my estimations after that Rowan performance of the year. But has it ever been on the Ultimate Fighter where one team won all the first round fights and the other team didn't? I know I'm meant to be the face of TUF podcasting, but I mean, you're gonna have to take the hat for this one. But
No, I don't think I've ever seen it where there's been an absolute landslide where. So like
Sweet.
I know it's been close.
Sweet to say in America.
I know it's been close. I think at one stage maybe there was like a 6-2 going into the next round or something like that. I can't tell you the season now, but there's definitely been one where like the sweep has been brought into conversation before. But this is looking like there is a possibility about it now. Thank God Lee Hammond's up next, so like that's the crown and the jewel that we're looking for.
Yeah.
To get the job done. Like this is one of the reasons we're so invested in this season, the Ultimate Fighter, Lee Hammond and Brad Katona. So like obviously Conor as a coach is obviously going to make things interesting, but when there's actually a vested interest of fighters actually coming into the UFC and getting a UFC contract, because at the moment, when we talk about the Irish landscape of MMA, Lee Hammond's almost like a forgotten figure in a way, as in like obviously people are delighted for him. He's doing really well. He got his black belt there the other day. Like, we're massive fans of him. But people always say Conor, Ian and Sean are now the three people signed to the UFC. A win here for Lee Hammond, you got to think like even if he doesn't outright win the competition here, he'll get the opportunity to fight in the finale.
If one of us go to war, we all go to war.
Soundboard Basbo was on fire today.
Man, I knew that was coming. Obviously, yeah, like Lee is sort of going under the radar, but like he doesn't really do many interviews. Like they sat him down with Brad in this episode, asking how did Brad get into MMA. I thought that was
yeah, well, I thought that was nice, but like,
yeah,
look, Lee's probably a naturally shy guy. You know what I mean? Like any interaction I've ever had with him has always actually been pleasant. You know what I mean? Like, if maybe it's not his prerogative to do a load of interviews, and that's fine. Like that's what he wants to do. Like I feel like, when he does eventually, become an official UFC fighter, signed to the UFC, maybe he is already and we don't know about it and he can't announce it to the show or whatever. But obviously doing press and media is part of the job, so it's probably something he's going to have to get more comfortable doing. But like maybe that's something that he'll look at getting trained at, because some people are good at it, some people are naturally good at it, some people don't like doing it. It's just part of the business, and if you want to make a bigger name for yourself and get those bigger paydays, you have to do a bit of talking every now and then.
Yeah, well, we're just going by what we've seen and when we've met him, and he seems like a top guy. He doesn't really call people out, and he likes to just go in and get his job done. And congratulations on the black belt as well. That's something that people strive for their whole lives, and he's done it. Like I think he's under the age of 25, maybe as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say at max he's 26. I think I was like that fella's very young to be getting his black belt.
Yeah,
but well deserved as well. Like I've seen him do seminars all over the place. He seems to be someone who's well regarded within the MMA community and well regarded in the jiu-jitsu community as well. It's not like it was given, it was earned.
You can say that again. Unlike there was one guy in the Frank Mir, and who did Frank Mir go against in the Ultimate Fighter?
Nogueira.
Yeah, and they were asking Frank Mir, something on Frank Mir's. It was in that season. He was like, "I'm a black belt." Like he came up with like 15 excuses where he got it, and everyone was just like, "If you got a black belt, you could just say where you got it." He was like, "Well, then I got the bus, but the coach was off that day." So then everyone's just like, "What?" But that's see, it's sort of like you when I ask you where'd you get that second stripe and that white belt, bro. But I mean, look,
picked off the tape myself and just threw it on there.
Taking it one by one off your Adidas t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, Ross, next week Lee Hammond's fighting against Kurt Hollingba.
Yeah.
Hollingba. Like, just can you let us know a bit? Like, obviously we know Lee. Like, what should people expect against Kurt?
Well, Kurt Hollingba, he's actually got heavy hands. Like he's got quite a few finishes on the feet. But funny enough, like this will be his third attempt at having a UFC stint. He went 8-0 as a pro, 8-0 as a pro, fought in Strikeforce. Strikeforce got bought over by the UFC, had one fight in the UFC and lost. Then he went on and had a record of 16-4 and got back into the UFC. And then he lost another 2 fights. Another 3 fights. So he's 0-4 in the UFC, but he's fought the likes of Thiago Moises, Shane Burgos, Ronnie Barcells. Like, he's fought some elite level competition. You know, in the lightweight division, you can't get away with fighting bums. It's one of the highest level divisions in the sport. So, look, he's made it to the big dance 4 times. He's been unsuccessful 4 times. You know what I mean? Like, this is probably last chance saloon for him, really, I would say. So if he doesn't get the job done here, like, he's 36. So, you know, especially in the lighter weight divisions, like 36 is really old, in my opinion. I know there's the odd sort of anomaly, like a Jim Miller or something like that, who's still wrecking people at this age. But I think this is a great matchup for Lee, and fingers crossed Lee gets the job done next week, because we saw a bit of argy-bargy after the bell as well.
It gets very spicy. I think that, like, that was next week's episode. I think is actually the one that everyone was waiting for.
Oh yeah, this is what people want to see. People want to, like, why did McGregor do? Why did he push that Bellator tick?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know everyone was looking forward to the session in the Gap as well. Like,
Yeah.
that one's like part 2. Obviously, we had one good one already. Like Phil pouring the glasses, McGregor going down the stairs. But, no, you wonder if it goes 8-0.
Yeah.
What the sessions would be like in the Prospect House.
Yeah, well, like, it's obviously going to become a bit strange, because, like, obviously there's going to still be team sessions for Team McGregor, but they're not there. Who knows? Like, also, like, it's one of those things. If you're in the Ultimate Fighter, you have to keep yourself ready. People get injured, people have to pull out, and you could step in there. So you have to always be prepared for that. And again, like, I don't think anyone on the McGregor team has been particularly beaten up either. So, you know, they should be staying ready just in case the opportunity arises.
Although your man that lost to Rosewell got knocked out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He probably has
Like, he's off for
what's it
6
called?
months.
Yeah, he has one of those
And
temporary
that makes
bans or
certain
whatever.
people's chances even better. So it's just stay.
Yeah, but someone like
Yeah.
Trevor Wells, who fought against Timor, and then fellow just lost to Brad as well. Like, they should be staying ready in case one of the bantamweights pull out.
As a wise man once said, don't get ready, stay ready.
That's it.
Speaking about staying ready, Ross, there is some big news going on in the world of mixed martial arts, especially in the UFC. Mark Zuckerberg against Elon Musk.
Big chat about this. This is
is
news
really
that's not
big
going
news.
away.
I feel like news happens, and then, like, we don't come back till the Wednesday, and then, like, we just sort of see what's still bubbling, and then give it the final seal of approval. But you're actually saying that you want to actually ref this fight.
Yeah, I'm the next coming of Big John. Look, I know a lot of people are against gimmick fights. I'm not mad in a gimmick fight, but I also like amped against seeing 2 people fight who are of the same level of experience. Like, put it this way, I didn't like James Toney versus Randy Couture. I just thought I knew Randy Couture was going to ankle pick him and smash him. I wasn't mad on CM Punk versus Mickey Gall. I was probably actually a bit more happy with that than I was the James Toney one, because I was like, it'd be interesting to see what level CM Punk was at. It was a bit of an unknown commodity. But this one, I'm like, right, 2 of the richest people in the world, they're going to fight. They could just do it off their own bat if they want to. They could do it on their own promotion. They could do it on some sort of Instagram channel or some sort of Facebook channel, and it wouldn't be an issue. Or Elon Musk would set up his own social media company. He can do what he wants, that fella, the amount of money he has. Look, if these 2 guys want to have a fight or whatever, so be it. And if Dana White wants to come in and, you know, help them get it arranged, sanction it, or get it sanctioned, or maybe it doesn't get sanctioned or whatever, but, like, you know, they have it prepared the best way possible. Why not? Like, I've seen, you know, some people are like, oh, this is just rich people being able to do whatever they want. Well, like, they're at that stage of wealth where they basically can do whatever they want, and if this is what they want to do, like, I want to see it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the way the UFC, like, the production team, everything, the promotion, the commentators, the refs, like, it's...
You up the refs.
Yeah, well, I'm just more for you, man. But I mean, that's why they want to do it in the UFC. Like, no offense to your organizations, like we've been to multiple Bellator Dublin shows. We haven't been to any PFL shows now, but they do a pretty good job as well. But they want the most. They want the biggest fans. They want on the biggest platform. Like that's why I don't think it would actually work as well if they did it by themselves in like.
Oh no, it'd probably get less views, but I'm saying like they don't actually need Dana White to get this over the line. But doing the Octagon would be cool. Like I'd be interested in it. Obviously,
that's why. Yeah, that's why I'm
Zuckerberg's
not.
doing loads of jits at the moment, and like it looks like he's hitting a few pads. Musk, who knows what he's up to? But like, it's not like he couldn't have the money to put a serious training camp together and be in shape and be as good as any Joe Soap who's come off the couch.
Yeah.
And plus, they obviously have the work ethic. Like they can't build the billion-dollar companies they have without the work ethic. So clearly, like that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, you know what? It's just if this one was about to go live, like imagine the way like everyone, Elon Musk could like put an alarm on everyone's phone or a notification saying this is going live, or
You mean
Zuckerberg. Well, no, Elon Musk on Twitter. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So you get you get a notification straight away, and then the Zuckmeister would then send a notification out to everyone on Facebook and Instagram. Like every single person's phone would just like ding, so like you'd know it was on. It like that would just be absolutely crazy.
I actually forgot Elon Musk bought Twitter. Like,
How did you forget that, man? You were meant to ref his fight, like, jeez.
yeah, but I was like, Elon Musk could buy a social media platform. He already has bought one, but just not one that does live video. Well, I don't think it does live video. Does it?
Yeah. Well,
All right, well, I don't think I've ever watched a live event on. I've seen like the live audios on Twitter, but I've never seen live video on Twitter.
I haven't got a sound note for that one, man. I'll do it next time.
But
This is number
yeah,
one bullshit.
Yeah, but just imagine everyone's phones triggering that time. That'd be absolutely crazy. Now the question is, how good would the cardio and stuff be, or how much of a shit show would it be? Like we said,
well, it depends on how long they have, doesn't it? Like if they had 12 weeks, like if they actually properly train for 12 weeks, their cardio would be pretty good. It'd be good enough to do 15 minutes. I'd like to hope.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I actually don't see it happening. I know. Like, you want to get that payday, but let's see what happens. Let us know if people actually think it will happen, because it's completely overtaken the talks of Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou talk, or John Jones talk as well.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll put out a poll later. Who do you think would win, Musk or Zuckerberg, and see what people think.
Yeah, I can actually attach this to the end of the Spotify. So,
Grand.
yeah, I'll put a poll out and seeing who people actually think will win. Who do you think will actually win?
Probably the Zuck, only because
Yeah,
I've seen him train. Like,
Well,
like, also he's younger.
I'll go to Zuckmeister as well. I'm a living legend. Ross, we can't really wrap things up without talking about Ilya Topuria over the weekend. Chael Sonnen was calling him Waterballer boy, but we all know Paddy the Baddy christened him hand sanitizer boy. He won over the weekend. He did it in devastating fashion. He's 14-0 now. But the way he had Sergio Ramos, like a living legend, like there.
And Ferran Torres.
I know, but I mean, it's sort of like
No, but it's more that like two people went out of their way, footballers who don't normally go to UFC events, to go watch them fight.
Yeah.
And one was a Real Madrid legend and one was a Barcelona legend. Well, legend's probably a bit more, but yeah.
they're weak, mate. Like,
Yeah. But yeah, still, like, you had people of corresponding teams.
more
like,
of a Man City
as-
legend than he is.
But yeah, Sergio Ramos, obviously a global superstar.
Yeah,
Obviously
like-
Paris Saint-Germain footballer now. Obviously they must be good friends, you know what I mean? Like a couple of 1-2 Mr. Steal Your Girl over there, like, you know what I mean? Two of the most handsome men in their respective games, you know what I mean? Two slicksters, really. But
the both lads are taken, man. Like, come on.
yeah, well, like, thank God they're taken, because they'd be stealing everyone else misses left, right, and centre. But yeah, Sergio Ramos, obviously global superstar. It's incredible to see someone from the football world go to UFC. I know when UFC was in London, I think like Mason Mount was at it. I think Jordan Pickford was at it. There's a few others at it. Only because we were sitting in the front row and we could see the names in the seats that we knew who was going to be there. But yeah, I think it was pretty cool to see, and like what a performance. He literally battered Emmett from pillar to post. It was very devastating. He got a 10-7 and all.
Well, yeah, when we were, for people listening, when we were doing the live show over in London, he was actually Topuria was actually meant to be one of the guests, but they changed it.
Yeah, they did. They changed at the last minute, but sure, look, we adapted a move. But
That
I
could
think
be
it has to be
Ramos, man. Like,
It could have been. It could have been. I think it has to be a title shot next for him. To be honest, I think he should like hang on and wait and fight the winner of Volk and Rodriguez. I'd be all for it.
Most of the people voted on the poll saying they wanted to see him against Max Holloway next. I know Max is taking on the Korean Zombie, but they wanted to see the Max Holloway fight.
Look, I'd love to see the Max Holloway fight. I think stylistically it's phenomenal, but I think it's the same as sort of the middleweight division at the moment. I feel like they might have to put Cannonier in again because of the way that's lined up. But I think with Volk, because he's so dominant, at least here's a fresh challenger. So hold him out. Like, don't put him in against Holloway, because then it's the same as putting Whitaker in against Duplessis. Like, Duplessis should be fighting for the middleweight title next. That fight is like, there's a bit of bad blood there. It's ready to go. They should have made that fight first, in my opinion, instead of making him have to fight Whitaker. And then it's like, right, you have to fight that guy. He was incredibly good. Tough luck.
Yeah. We'll see what happens next. But
who do you want to see him fight next? I know the people said Holloway, but Barrymore, you're Dana White for the day, and you're tasked with having to match Topuria next. Who you having him fight?
The winner of Musk and the Zuckmeister.
AKA Baz wants to see a first degree murder.
Oh no, only on Twitter. But no, to be honest, I just want to see people like keep the ball rolling. Like, everyone's hot in Topuria right now. Like, and I'd love UFC Spain. Imagine the sunburn we could get over in Madrid. It'd be perfect.
Yeah,
Ross, this weekend, Cage Warriors returns to Wales. It's on Saturday night. We Als. It's being headlined by Darren Stewart and Matt Bonner. That'll be a good fight, because the winner should take on the winner of Mick Staunton
and James Webb.
So at least we'll see what happens there. And also this weekend, Ross, back to Vegas. Sean Strickland taking on Magomedov.
Yeah, so look, the ball constantly keeps rolling in the MMA world. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, for the next 4 months, bro.
Yeah, I love it. Summer season is always good. And shout out to UFC putting on UFC Jacksonville that bit earlier. Made our lives a lot easier. Can't wait for, obviously, the next massive show we're looking forward to. It's going to be UFC London, because Sean O'Bannon will be making her UFC debut. And then
and International Fight Week as well.
Yeah, Ireland's own Molly McCann will be out there as well. So we have to put some respect in the Irish fighters' names. So yeah, International Fight Week will be massive as well. You get a champion versus champion, Volkanovski versus Rodriguez. There's some massive fights coming up down the pipeline. We can't wait to see them. Anything else before we close the show, Basmo?
I think that's it, bro. I think that's it, unfortunately.
No. Shout out to all the competitors at your fighting championship as well in Ireland. Just keeping our roots to the local show. Guys, thanks a million for anyone who is watching. Make sure to like, share, smash that subscribe button. It really helps us. And as always, stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you've done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.